What is up, my boys? And also girls. I don't know if any of my subscribers are girls, but if they are, then hello. The map looks a bit different, and that's for a reason. I lost the map and I had to remake it. Like, not from like the previous episode, not from like episode 2. I had to get a regular world map, one with Africa, Americas, Oceania, Eurasia. I had to do all of that because I lost the bloody map. So I don't care if it looks weird. It's weird, and I don't care. The first thing we see is something in Brazil. We see like a civil war happen. And who are the people in the civil war? There's like a Guyana section in the war. An Amazonian section in the war. And some pro-capitalist people. I don't know who made it, but it might be a bit noticeable. We begin seeing just all of them begin just going, considering about this general vicinity is just forest. We see them begin sweeping up, and I have no clue if they took the capital. I think it might be like there. They managed to take all of like the northern coast, and they managed to do this. And the red team, they managed to take all of this area. And eventually, they have a seizure and they die. To all of them. And because I can't be bothered to think of what to do, let's just do the peace treaty. We see Guyana get restored with a bit extra land. We see this place, which I'm just going to call Amazonia. It gets released. And we see Brazil switch over to the blue side. I'm on the wrong layer. On to the blue side. You see a bit of like an African civil war. People are starting to have democratic changes. So yeah, let's see how that's going to end up. We see all of Northern Africa, Cameroon, the Western, I'm just going to call it, I forgot what I called it. I think I called it something. And Nigeria and the DRC. And everyone else is on the other team. Except Chad. Chad's just kind of there. Do 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 do. Anyways, we immediately see Ethiopia just begin going down, just trying to reach anyone out there. And eventually, through a very weird path, no, I'll say they managed to, they aren't really protecting this area, they're mainly focusing on the main cities and like the areas with lots of stuff. They managed to completely cut them off from the Indian Ocean, but they decided to cut them off from theirs, and then bink, bap. Boop. That's alright, it took 4 episodes, but we're finally seeing Somaliland. Boop. Bop. 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 And bop. And that's one country, that's 2 countries already gone. Sudan's like, hell no. Now we see these 3 actually managed to survive because Madagascar, they can't really get invaded. I stand corrected, I'm kidding, that doesn't actually happen. Also, I just want to say, no, you weren't high. They did actually unite. Since South Africa has these 3 as like protective shields, and Madagascar really only has to worry about losing this, they both send a majority of their troops up here. But even despite all of the troops, they do begin pushing into the countries. We see them take this, 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 this. They begin going down the coast, and they manage to reach the South African border, also cutting them off and leading to them capitulating. They managed to get rid of this northern area, and I don't know where the capital is. I don't even remember the name of this country, so they're dead. And Malawi, or Malawi, I think that's how I say it, they get cut in half, and they die. And then South Africa's like, nope. And Madagascar decides to nope out of the war as well. I'll make you say how. Let us look at the peace treaty. First I'll do Western Sahara because that's going to be the hardest to border. I think Algeria has a little piece of land here. Then they have little pieces of land. So Algeria gets this little section. I just realised Algeria hasn't changed. I think now there's only a couple countries left who haven't changed at all. There's these 2. There's countries that haven't had their border changed because of a war or unification. So far there's those 3. Cameroon, Nigeria, I nearly said Nepal, Egypt, and Algeria, and Chad and Sudan. And Libya has been changed because of Tunisia. We see them border the change. Oh, it's exactly 10, nice. Then we see them take here, here, and here. So now the new African borders in this section look like this. Sudan, realizing they're probably dead, just didn't really lose anything. I guess they lost like this little section, but I don't think that's really that bad. But Ethiopia is very bad. We see Somalia get broken off. Oh. Then we see Somaliland get freedom. We see an Eritrean Djiboutian Union, I don't know what it's called, leaving Ethiopia without a coastline yet again. God damn it. I'll make you say my name is Cleveland Brown. Now these three sort of just explode. I'm gonna make these guys get annexed. Then I'm gonna show you what happens. They get basically fully annexed. Then they basically just get left as little slivers. Now tell me, do you think these would be able to survive? The answer is no. Well, probably yeah, but in this case, no. We see these two unite with South Africa. Then this guy... Actually, no. Then this guy and Madagascar decide to unite with South Africa. Now there's three major African powers. The Central African Republic. No, I'm going to call it Central African Union. South Africa. And the the Saharan Union. I'm going to call it that. We begin seeing a couple unifications. Like Iberia and France, I nearly said in Serbia. Iberia and Serbia. And Italy decides to join this war. I mean, in this unification. And I just want to say, with Volcania, little sections are allowed to leave. So a bit of Slovenia leaves and decides to join in on this union. And these guys have a bit of a civil war, where basically Luxembourg gets freed, the Netherlands gets freed, and they're split into Flanders and the other place. The Netherlands and Northern Belgium join France, and Southern Belgium and Luxembourg join. I mean, they join Germany, they join France. What the hell? What the hell? What the hell? Let me just redraw this border a bit. There, that looks a bit better. Now the world's starting to look a bit more unified. We actually see a couple more unifications happen. One happening in Central, I nearly said America, Central Asia, consisting of these two unite. This guy decides to join in on Kazakhstan. And this guy decides to join in on the Central Asian Union, the CAU. Wait a minute. I'm starting to think, now there's quite a few countries that could be like the largest country in the world. There's South Africa, Central African Union, Russia. Actually no, it's definitely still Russia. I think it's always been Russia, considering they have all of Russia, about half the Caucasus, all of Ukraine, Belarus, and all the Balkans. They have about 90% of Poland, and about half of. I mean, they have all the Baltics, and about 90% of the Balkans. Then they have two buffers. No, they have two puppets. Speaking of puppets, they actually decided to annex their Hungarian puppet, which may be a very bad idea, considering they have vastly different beliefs than the Russians. Probably, it's like 200 years and it's like 100 and a half. No, it's like 90-ish years in the future. Don't ask. I don't know what's gonna happen. We actually begin to see China begin to reunite. We see Manchuria and Taiwan. I'm just gonna call it Taiwan. We begin to see Taiwan unite. Then we see Myanmar and Thailand unite. Let me just get rid of this line, get rid of this line. Then we see just all of this area unite into one, making one incredibly large Asian Union. Or, I'm just gonna call it Asian, like, I forgot who originally said it. Then we eventually see... I don't know. I don't know what to call this. Now, this is a very long buoy. It stretches from the most northern section of Myanmar all the way to the southern tip of Papua New Guinea. Actually, no, probably Bougainville. I'd say they're united. The most westernmost of Malaysia, of Myanmar, to the most eastern bit of Papua New Guinea. And we begin to see the Indian subcontinent, what the hell, begin to unite. We see Bhutan decide to join. Then we see, at least Taiwan. We see Taiwan, we see Taiwan join. I'm kidding, that doesn't happen. We see Nepal join. I nearly forgot what it was called for a sec. And we see India unite. And we see Bangladesh join. It's starting to look a lot like the British Raj. I'm just going to call it the Raj. We see this guy just have a seizure and then they get split between their neighbours. That's pretty cool, I guess. Egypt gets here. Please do it. Good. Okay, that's good. This southeastern part goes to them. And this little northern bit goes to capitalist Turkey. We see Afghanistan join Iran. And then we see Tunisia and Egypt unite. And Chad, Nigeria, and I only said Gabon and Cameroon will unite, making this hideous mess. Then we see French Guiana join with Guyana to become just Guyana. We see Ecuador, Colombia, Panama, and Peru all unite to become just Gran Colombia. And I'd say that's actually probably everything I'd want to happen in this video. Actually, no, I'd say there's like a civil war that happens in Asia, not Asia, in South America. I nearly said Africa. I'll make you say, please work. I'm just doing this just so that whenever I need to colour them in, they're always like fully coloured in. So we see these guys on the red team. Basically just an east-south divide. We begin seeing the south, the north, the east immediately begin invading into North Amazonia. Yeah, that's north. Congrats, Regan, you know your directions. Then begin invading into the vast amount of rainforest here. Actually, I don't even know if there'd be a rainforest here anymore. I might just stretch to like getting close to the northern tip of Bolivia? Yeah, Bolivia. Speaking of Bolivia, West Virginia. They're starting to die. Hold on. Okay. We see a counter-offensive happen here. Goodbye, Venezuela. Which causes them just to die. Then we see them manage to take this section of Amazonia back. And these guys are like, hell no. Brazil, I'm scared. And then they decide to unite. Which means they have to start protecting this front, which doesn't go so well. They begin getting swarms of troops beginning just to invade in. Because they wouldn't think anyone would decide to go here. And eventually, all of Bolivia's back and all of Amazonia's back. These two die, and now it's literally just South America and about half of Central America versus Brazil, and they're like, hell no. Time to see this peace, pretty fun. La, 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 la. We see Gran Colombia begin getting even grander. And yes, I'm gonna call it Gran Colombia now. If I say like Venezuela, if I say anything like Venezuela, Gran Colombia, Colombia, anything like that, just assume I'm talking about this blob. Or like West, South, and Southwest America. Bolivia sort of gets split by its neighbours. Actually, why is it letting me do so much now?